Facebook Live. My name is Deborah Byrne from Deborah Byrne Psychology Services, known across social media as DBpsychology. So this morning I'm going to talk about working from home and your relationships and how you can help that. Now, it's not just about partners, married couples, partners living together in the one home. And then trying to both you work or one work and one do homeschooling or look after the children. It's not just about that. It's also about if you're living in with other people, maybe you're sharing a house and you're all trying to work from home. It's also about, kids and homeschooling and the relationship with them. So it's about all relationships really, and how everybody's trying to work from home and not have that, that friction, and try and ease the friction and the stresses that are happening currently at home. It is a new way of working. So we have to rephrase that. We have to rephrase it in our head that, okay, we're working from home. It is causing a lot of stress, but we also have to think about it in we are safe at home. Our children are safe at home. So we have to start to rephrase that in our home. And I'm asking people to stay at home. I know some people have started to think they can leave, but we don't want to go back to the starting point again. So it's only for a shorter period of time. Please stay home and stay safe. Now, everybody is stressed at the moment, and it's natural. This is going to be a natural response to what is happening at the moment. So therefore, small problems that would normally be just niggles, or we could let go because we're getting a break and we're getting out of the house, we're going to work, they can escalate quickly. And sometimes we can be very surprised at what can escalate a situation. It could be the slightest thing, and something even worse could have happened, or bigger could have happened, and that didn't escalate things into a row, but it's a small thing can trigger. Usually when that happens, though, it is because the person has allowed things to build up within themselves, and then that it's just that particular thing, whether it was small or big, they just spark, and then escalates and gets out of hand, and there's a row. And of course, being constantly in the house together, we are we're rubbing each other up the wrong way. We're constantly in each other's faces. There's no break. There's no natural break that we would normally have if the kids went to school and we went to work, or partner went to work. We're not getting that break, that alone time. And as individuals, we do need alone time, and I'm going to talk about that in this morning's vlog. And of course, then we're naturally, stressed and worried and feeling very pressurized for a variety of reasons, and I've put those in the blog at the moment. And then you're going to add in the pressure of homeschooling and people trying to work from home, and then things can very quickly seem impossible to handle. But what I'd like to tell you is, look, take a breath. Just please take a breath. It is okay. It is natural to feel stressed and worried, but you're safe. So just take a breath and take a step back. And that is what this week's blog is all about. It's about taking a step back and looking at what's going on, has gone on, and doing a review. And doing a review again as a couple, but if you're living also with a group of housemates, you can all do these exercises too. And once you have worked through these exercises yourselves as a couple, and you've got older children or teens, get them to come on board and explain what you're trying to do, and get them to give their input on what they need. What are their needs? Particularly with teens, we need to get them on board and explain the reasons why, in order to get them to cooperate. So I'm going to move on now. Remember, all relationships, and every relationship, is based on mutual respect. And this includes a respect of the other person's work and what they do. You mightn't agree with one another 100% of the time, but you have a good respect for one another. So if you are living with somebody, if they're your partner, you do have to respect that they have work. They're bringing in income into the home for everybody in the home's benefit. So we have to, we have to think about that when we respect them, not just themselves, but what they actually do for a living. So working at home. This, as I said, does require a little bit of planning, a little bit of thinking, a little bit of let's step off, and we have a weekend now, let's step off the work, merry-go-round, everybody rushing around, and stop and think. Do a little bit of planning and some honest communication. With respect, you have to have honest communication. Remember, you're a team, so you can work as a team. And this is about setting good boundaries and planning together. So the first thing I have suggested that people do is, in fact, go off by themselves for 5 or 10 minutes and to do a brainstorming of ideas. What's going on? And when I mean ideas, you're not looking we're not talking about, making a product or solving problems here. What we're doing is we're just listing out, in fact, our grievances. What is going on? What's actually going on with the situation? Where is the problem? That's what your question is for this brainstorm. Where is the problem? And just sit down and just do a whole brain dump and get it all out of your head. Get it all down on paper. So is it a problem with the internet? The kids need it for school, you both need it for work, or is it a case of somebody's on Netflix, but there is important work that needs to be done, but that needs the broadband time as well. So, think about that. Is it tasks that need to be done around the home? Is it help with the kids and homeschooling? Are you feeling pressurized there? List everything out as an individual and ask your partner to do the same. This isn't just a one-sided thing. This is communication, which means you require both of you to communicate. But, because things are so stressed and people are rubbing each other up the wrong way and things may have gotten out of hand, if we take a few minutes, even by ourselves, to write down our thoughts, we can communicate those thoughts more clearly with the other person. So when you do have that list, just pick the top 3. What would make the biggest difference right now if you could tackle it? If it seems insurmountable, maybe take it down a step. And if you can do this as individuals, and then the next step will be to come together and talk about it. A word of warning, though, about coming together and talking about it. As I said, nerves are grating. Fuses can be very short at this stage, so please keep it simple. Even pick one priority. And you'll probably be surprised that your partner has the same priorities or has a similar priority that needs to be tackled, a similar problem that needs to be tackled, and you can both. So I would pick that. If you're both on the same page with even one problem, then I would tackle that one together first. Remember, this isn't about the blame game or nagging. And if things get heated, please break away. It's not worth it. It's not worth your mental health or your relationship. Break away. And if it's so heated, I would use the 48-hour rule that I have talked about. I've talked about it before in the past about improving your communication skills. And the 48-hour rule is you basically take a 48-hour break and don't talk about what the situation is until you've both calmed down enough, or one of you have calmed down enough to then come back and talk about it in a civilized manner. I outline how to actually do that and how to communicate properly, more appropriately, in a blog and a vlog that I've done, and it's available on my website, about improving communication skills in relationships. And part of that is also about using your I statements. It's all about using I feel, I need, I would like. It's about, you. It's always about yourself, and using active listening skills. Now, with active listening skills, we listen more than we talk. We also have to not be thinking about, our response to what the other person has said. And that can be very difficult if you're feeling very defensive and very angry. And that's why I say you might need to take a break. And it also requires you to clarify sometimes and just say, can I just clarify, did you say this? And if you feel yourself getting defensive and that you can't, or you can't think of an appropriate response that you want to say, okay, what this person is saying is wrong, or no, this doesn't suit me. It's okay to say, I need to think about that. I just need half an hour, can we come back to this tomorrow? I need to think about that overnight. I need to sleep on it and I need to think about it. And this is all part of using your active listening, your good communication skills, is to know that you can say, I need time to think about that. And it's okay. That's setting a healthy boundary. It's okay to say, I need time to think about this. So just be aware of that when you come together to talk these problems through and you decide to tackle the problem. Now, what you're actually trying to create when you tackle the problem is a workable contract that everybody in the house can work towards. But you as the couple, as the parents, are going to be in charge of this contract. And that is the goal. But I would suggest to you that you put in a couple of things. One is that in this contract that you would put in, you would go over each other's schedule, either first thing in the morning or last thing at night. And the reason I say that to you is, if you're both trying to work from home, or if one is working from home and the other is, managing the children and doing the homeschooling, you need to know if there's an important call going on, if somebody's doing, a video conference or something. You need to know that that's happening. So therefore, you can reduce the noise levels and you're not going to walk in and interrupt. It's about cooperation. It's about being able to, respect each other, and that you need this time, or you need to use the internet at this time. So therefore, the teenagers can't be on Netflix or something like that. Think about what you need to do. So who needs to do what and when and with whom? So that also means maybe, setting your work hours, time to work with the children on homeschooling. Maybe it's a case that you both, if you're both working from home, that, one takes the morning to do their work, and then the other is working with the children, or vice versa, in the afternoon. So think about that. Think about also incorporating some time alone. And that can be something as simple as, okay, I'm going to supervise the kids. You take a quick 20-minute walk. Get out in the fresh air, appropriate social distancing, use your mask, or just taking 3-minute breather, or a cup of tea by yourself while the other partner is minding the kids and giving you some alone time, and then swap over, because it's so intense at the moment. And if there's a lot of people living in the house, we naturally need to be, so we are socially, interactive human beings. That's what we are. We need that social interaction, but we also need about 20 minutes or so alone every day. And some people need a bit more than others. But parents need about 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes alone every day. So you can break that time up. You can break that time up into a quick cup of tea or a soak in the bath while the other partner is doing something, and then you swap. You need to cooperate here, and you're trying to make a workable contract that you can where you can work together. It's not going to be perfect, and you can't expect it to be perfect. But having a workable contract will help ease the tension and the stresses, and maybe just tackle a few problems that are going on in the house. The other thing you've got to do is respect the work environment as part of the contract. So if you have a designated work area, and I'm talking about a physical room like I have an office in my home, so I'm very lucky I can do that. I can go in and close the door, and yes, I can leave a messy desk. But not everybody has that. And if you have that, that's great. And that's where, or if you're sharing an office with somebody, you have to make accommodations. So you need a system in place if you haven't got an office, if you haven't got a dedicated office in your home. And that means that you can move or tidy up the work that you have there. So you cannot expect, papers to be left lying around, equipment to be left lying around, stuff on the floor, and not expect a child or another adult to touch off it or move it, particularly if it's the dining room table. And everybody, and I'm talking about teens as well, maybe everybody, your two parents working in the home, you've got kids or teens trying to do homeschooling as well, and everybody's trying to use the dining room table or the kitchen table and the dining room table. I don't know your setup. You need a movable system, and that might mean getting some cardboard boxes or repurposing some boxes in the home to be able to move them like a filing system, or put them in the corner and nobody's allowed to touch them. So think about it. Think strategies here in order to make the system and the work environment more conducive to everybody else, and that people's work, if you were working on something, that it's not going to be destroyed or it's not going to be upended. So you need to cooperate, not just the person that's doing the work, but everybody else has to cooperate too. And you need to be able to tidy it up and move it out of the way, particularly if that's the room you're also eating in. You can't just leave the stuff lying around. The other thing is, if you're using headphones, try and use headphones to reduce the noise. And that would be everybody, including the kids if possible, and the teens if they're watching something, that they would use headphones, or they would keep the noise level down. And that's important, to turn down the notifications also on your devices and your mobile phones. But it's important because if there's a call coming in, or somebody, as I said, is trying to do a Zoom call or something like that, you need to let the other people know that this is happening. Guys, this is coming up. This is why I say about reviewing your schedule. At such and such a time, I'm on Zoom or I'm on the phone. Can you keep the noise level down at that time? So think about ways in which you can communicate with one another. And you can see now why communication and planning is very important. Because, we've all seen the videos. Somebody, rushing in, maybe, or walking into the kitchen. Somebody's at the kitchen table and they're working away, and somebody has walked in and maybe they're in their pajamas. It's not good. Or the kids come flying through the kitchen, or flying into the kitchen maybe from the back garden while you're trying to work. But if they knew that you can't go in because such and such mum or dad is doing a call, or mum or dad is on the a video chat or something with the boss, you need to let them know that this is happening. Okay, can you keep the noise level down, guys? I'm going to be doing this. Think about that. Or if you're doing that, maybe you take that call somewhere else in the house. Go and think about taking it somewhere else in the house. The other thing you need to do is remember, if the schedule changes, let the other person know. Again, it comes back to communicating. And we've also got to remember that everybody else, including your boss, is in this situation too. So if the boss is working from home, you're working from home, they're maybe having kids, and spouses coming in and out, and going to be interruptions. Everybody's in the same boat. Just laugh about it, apologise, I'm really sorry about that, and leave it at that, and let it go. Do not get wound up in the guilt. Do not get wound up in, oh my God, my boss thinks I'm an idiot. No, they don't, because guess what's probably happened to them as well on another call. Think about the importance of communicating with one another, making a plan, because that is the key to easing the tensions. And that is what I would say is the bulk of this week's blog. There are a couple of other points that I'd like to make, and that is about if you're trying to work from home, I would very much, and as I said, set work hours, stick to a routine. sticking to a routine is very good for your mental health. And I talk about in the blog about watching what you're wearing. Don't be doing your work, even if you're not taking phone calls, if you're not taking video calls. Sometimes it's easy just to get up and go to the desk and just be in your pajamas. Try not to do that. Set your work hours. Watch what you're dressed like. Plan it out. Make sure you're setting time for the kids, and as a couple, you need time as well as a couple. So if you are having a number of hours, then leave the work, leave it. And even if you decide, okay, in order to give me a demarcation for when work is happening in the home and when work isn't happening at the home, maybe then you go and put on the tracksuit bottoms or the pajamas. So it's kind of like a demarcation in your day. It gives you a better structure for your mental health as well. This is not just about work. This is about helping to improve your mental health. So set working hours. The other point I'd like to make, if you're actually not working at the moment, there are loads of free courses out there. Even Irish libraries are doing free courses. And even if you haven't got a library card, you can actually join online if you go and look at the Irish Library's website. But there are other organisations that normally run courses for free, and I've put a number of links in the blog. And even if you're not working from home, think about planning your day. Think about planning out some time, planning out the homeschooling. The homeschooling, I've done a whole blog on homeschooling and I did a video on it as well. But please try and not put yourself under pressure. An awful lot of parents are putting themselves under pressure and they are worried sick about their children falling behind, and that is normal. But if you start to put yourself under pressure and start to your anxiety goes up, your stress levels are already high anyway because of what's going on, it's really damaging to your mental health, and your children are going to pick up on that anxiety as well. Think about breaking the homeschooling up into maybe smaller amounts. Think about using other things for homeschooling, such as cooking lessons, maybe some gardening. All of that is using reading, mathematics. It's also using science. So you're giving them, great skills. You're not only just giving them life skills when you're doing that. You are teaching them. So think of other ways in the house that you can do that you would normally do. Even writing up shopping lists. You can include the money in that as well, how much something costs. And we generally, if we regularly shop, we would generally know approximately what something would cost. And teach them how to do that. Teach them how to use the internet safely. These are all things you can teach them and you have control over teaching them. Don't worry too much about, they have to get through a certain amount of schoolwork every day. Don't worry about that. This is more now about their mental health and keeping them safe and keeping you safe and your mental health. The teachers, when the schools reopen, teachers will catch the students back up. And every other child in the country is in the same boat at the moment. So don't worry about that. So do things as a family. Get the kids involved. And this is what I said about the start, about getting the kids, particularly older kids and teens, involved in brainstorming ideas and how you can work together as a family. You're a team. Remember that. You're not just a couple as a team as a couple, but also a team as a family, and everybody working together and cooperating together and communicating with honesty with one another is so much more empowering, and it enables us to take back control from our lives. In saying all that, yes, you will have bad days. And on those bad days, I do have a blog and a vlog on emergency self-care kits that you can put together very easily for those days. But if you can just collapse it all down to basics, if you need to spend the day in the pajamas and watch TV and just do things with the kids, that's okay. We all have bad days. So give yourself a break. Remember, your mental health at the moment is much more important than anything else that's going on. So that's it. And it was a very long vlog this morning. The blog is a long blog, much more detailed than what I've gone through right now. So do check it out over my website. It's at www.deborahbyrnepsychologyservices.com. Also, just to say to you that my book is available. It's for women on self-care, but it covers 33 topics, stuff like I've talked about this morning, and it includes worksheets that you might need for each topic in the book. The other thing I'll say to you is I upload every week. I have been uploading new free resources that you just go in and you click and download. You go to the free resources page on my website and then just scroll down and you'll see there starts to be a list. There's also a progressive muscle relaxation exercise there, and it does have links out to my podcast, which is on iTunes and on SoundCloud, and it has meditation. I think I have about 4 different meditations up there that you can have a look at and just listen to, and you can start to do those to help you relax. So check those out, and I will see you all again next Saturday. And Monday's blog will be out as usual at 10 o'clock, and it's all about overthinking, the different types of overthinking. Heads up, it is a long blog. Apologise again, but I felt people needed the information about the different types of distorted thinking that we can go through. But I then give you a 2-part strategy at the end. So if you want to just skim through the top part and then go to the part where the action steps are, go ahead. And again, I'll do a vlog about that next Saturday morning. So thank you all. Thank you as always to the people that join me live and to everybody in replay. And I will see you all again next Saturday morning. Thank you.